You know that voice. Gravelly, warm, curious. The kind of voice that could make even the most nervous guest feel like they were sitting across from an old friend, just chatting over coffee. But what if I told you that before Larry King became one of the most famous interviewers on the planet, before the Suspenders, before CNN, before those 60,000 interviews, he was just a broke kid from Brooklyn who borrowed $50 to get his first job on the radio? This is the story of Larry King, the man who turned listening into an art form. Larry King was born Lawrence Harvey Zeiger on November 19, 1933 in Brooklyn, New York. His parents were Jewish immigrants, his father from Austria, his mother from Belarus. His dad ran a bar and grill, his mom was a garment worker. Life was simple, working class, full of noise and neighborhood chatter, the kind of background that builds good storytellers. But tragedy hit early. When Larry was 9, his father died suddenly of a heart attack. His mother had to go on welfare, and Larry's world turned upside down. He once said that his father's death made him lose interest in school, that it took away the sense of direction in his young life. He barely graduated high school and took odd jobs, mail clerk, delivery boy, anything that paid the bills. Still, somewhere inside him was that dream, radio. He grew up listening to the golden age of broadcasting, to big voices that filled living rooms across America. He didn't just want to talk on the radio, he wanted to connect with people. But he had no college degree, no experience, and no idea how to start. Until, one day, he heard something that would change his life. A CBS broadcaster told him, "If you really want to go into radio, go to Florida. They're hiring young people who will work for nothing." And so, with a suitcase and almost no money, Larry hopped on a bus to Miami. That's where destiny met opportunity. He arrived in 1957, broke but determined. He knocked on station doors until one finally opened, WAHR in Miami Beach. The station manager said, "We've got a job for you, sweeping floors." Larry took it. But then one day, fate intervened. A DJ quit unexpectedly, and the manager told Larry to take the mic. Just like that. No experience, no training, just a chance. There was one problem, though, his last name. Zeiger sounded too ethnic, the manager said. Too long. So minutes before going on air, he flipped through a newspaper ad for a local liquor store, King's Wholesale Liquor. And just like that, Larry King was born. His first words on the radio were humble, almost shy. He said, "Good morning. This is my first day ever on the air. I've always wanted to be on the radio." He played records, read the news, and, most importantly, talked to people. He had this natural rhythm, a mix of warmth and curiosity, like he genuinely wanted to know who you were. That became his secret weapon. Soon, Larry moved from playing music to doing interviews. His first guest? A waitress from the local restaurant across the street. That's what made Larry King special from the start. He didn't wait for celebrities. He believed everyone had a story worth hearing. And soon, bigger names followed. Frank Sinatra, Jackie Gleason. Even the local mob figures came to talk. Miami was wild in the 1960s, full of stars, scandals, and politics. And Larry was right in the middle of it all, charming everyone with that gravelly voice and quick wit. By the early 1970s, he had his own syndicated radio show, The Larry King Show, on the Mutual Broadcasting System. It went national in 1978 and ran through the night, literally, midnight to 5:30 a.m., America's late-night companion. People loved it. He didn't shout, he didn't debate, he listened. He asked questions like, "What happened next?" or "Why did you feel that way?" The kind that made guests open up. And that was his magic. People didn't perform for him, they revealed themselves. But life, as always, had its rough edges. Larry King wasn't a saint. He married 8 times to 7 different women. He once joked, "I'm an optimist, I keep trying." He also struggled with money, filing for bankruptcy more than once. In 1971, he even got arrested, accused of grand larceny for taking money from a business partner. The charges were dropped, but his reputation took a hit, and he lost his radio job. For years, he was in exile, doing odd reporting jobs until he clawed his way back on air. It's a theme that ran through his life: fall, get up, talk again. Then came 1985, the year everything changed. CNN, still a young network at the time, gave Larry King his own TV show, Larry King Live, and it became legendary. Night after night, 5 nights a week, Larry sat behind his desk, mic in front, suspenders on, sleeves rolled up, and interviewed the world. Presidents, prime ministers, movie stars, criminals, survivors, anyone with a story. He spoke with every U.S. president from Ford to Obama, grilled world leaders like Yasser Arafat and Vladimir Putin, and even interviewed Marlon Brando, who ended the talk with an unexpected kiss on Larry's lips. But perhaps his most famous moment came during the 1990s when he hosted a live debate between Ross Perot and Al Gore on the North American Free Trade Agreement. Over 16 million people watched, making it the highest-rated cable show at the time. Larry had no scripts, no long pre-interviews. He walked in with curiosity and instinct, and he asked the questions people at home wanted to ask, not the kind journalists ask to look smart. That's why guests trusted him, even the toughest ones. Behind the scenes, Larry King was the same guy you saw on camera: humble, funny, endlessly curious. He didn't read books before interviewing authors. He said it kept him fresh. He didn't judge or push. He once said, "I never learned anything while I was talking." That line became his philosophy. And in an era where talk shows turned into shouting matches, Larry King stayed the calm in the storm. He hosted over 60,000 interviews, won 2 Peabody Awards, an Emmy, and the respect of millions who grew up hearing that voice. He also survived several heart attacks and underwent quintuple bypass surgery in 1987, later writing books about it to help others facing the same fears. Even after leaving CNN in 2010, he didn't retire. He launched Larry King Now on the internet, proving that even in his 80s, he could adapt to new media. When asked why he kept working, he said, "What would I do? I don't fish, I don't golf, I love to talk to people." And that was true. He lived to talk. Larry King passed away on January 23, 2021, at the age of 87. But his legacy still echoes every time a host leans in, asks a simple question, and listens. He once said that his favorite interviews were with ordinary people, the ones who didn't have PR teams or talking points. Because, he said, everyone you meet knows something you don't. That's the heart of it. Larry King didn't build a career by talking, he built it by listening. And in a noisy world, that might just be the rarest skill of all. So the next time you hear a podcast host pause before asking a question, or you see a journalist drop their notes and just listen, think of Larry King, the man who showed us that a microphone isn't just a tool for speaking, it's a bridge between people. And maybe that's the real legacy he left behind. Not fame, not fortune, but connection. The kind that makes you forget you're watching a show and makes you feel like you're part of the conversation.